We are protecting our homeland. We are empowering our youth. We are building a nation where every citizen has the agency to thrive and to succeed in this country.
2025 in retrospect. Nigeria's economy healthy, new tax policy friendly, Information Minister assures.
We are grateful, we thank God, at least they will do Christmas with their parents.
After 32 days of tears, joy comes at last. Niger State Governor receives last set of Papiri students and staff.
Since yesterday, we stay here, we never go anywhere.
Highway of horror. Lokoja Abuja gridlock still a prayer point after 3 days. FRSC boss moves to ease situation. Season's greetings. You are watching the network news on NTA. I'm Naja Atutijani, and joining me later from Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibo. Remember that this broadcast is being streamed live on our website, nta.ng/live, and you can follow us across social media as well. And now the news in detail. The remaining 130 pupils and staff of St. Mary's Catholic School, Papiri, Agwara local government area have been handed over to Niger State government. The representative of the National Security Advisor, Coordinator, Counter-Terrorism Center, Major General Garba Adamulaka, formally presented the rescued children and teachers to Governor Muhammad Umaru Bago. Usaina Musa has the details.
The rescue of the children and their teachers who spent 32 days in captivity was in response to the directive of President Bola Tinubu, which culminated in an intense coordinated operation by the Office of the National Security Advisor, the Department of State Security Services and the Armed Forces. The federal and state governments, who applauded the efforts of security operatives, reaffirmed commitment to strengthening security architecture in high-risk areas, particularly schools.
For education, it must not be a casualty to violence. Reopen schools safely and ensure that the rights of every Nigerian child to learn in safety is upheld.
We are going to hand them over to their parents by tomorrow. We'll start the process, and they are being taken care of. They have been going through a lot of medical checks. The UNICEF is collaborating with the state government and the federal government. They are all doing the necessary things. We are grateful, we thank God, at least they will do Christmas with their parents.
Even as memories of the unfortunate incident of 21st November lingers in the minds of the innocent students and their teachers, this year's Christmas celebration will be special following their return to the warmth of their families. Emina Hussaina Musa, NTA News.
Still on those wanting to celebrate Christmas with their families, the gridlock at Koton-Karfe axis along the Lokoja-Abuja highway is a nightmare, say travelers who are appealing to the federal government to order contractors handling the road project to open it up. Solomon Ayedin, who has been on ground, reports that at the time of filing the report, the gridlock is far from being over.
The traffic situation at Koton-Karfe along Lokoja-Abuja highway remains chaotic. People are stranded and travel time lost.
The thing keep going up every minute, every hour.
Almost 6 hours. The journey of just 1 hour, 30 minutes.
I have an event I needed to attend like tomorrow. But now I am unable to attend the event because of what is happening here.
Since yesterday, we stay here, we never go anywhere.
Now we are even buying pure water, which we used to buy 2 for 15 naira, is now 100 naira here.
3 motor, 4 motor, they want to choke it at the same time. That is what caused this hold up.
As commuters and drivers are complaining of loss of travel time, food vendors are smiling to the banks. How is business?
I thank God that the business is okay. We sell, overnight, no stopping.
An appeal has been made by commuters and motorists alike, calling on the federal government to direct contractors to hasten up the construction activities and perhaps open up alternative routes to ensure free flow of traffic throughout this Yuletide period. Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Federal Road Safety Corps has intensified its nationwide enforcement of ridding the roads of dangerous drivers and eliminating life-threatening practices on major highways as Nigerians embark on end-of-year travels. FRSC Corps Marshal Shehu Mohammed said this while supervising traffic operations along the Lokoja-Abuja-Kaduna highway. Oyeyemi Ajayi was there and reports for NTA News.
As expected, there is a sharp increase in vehicular movements nationwide in preparation for Yuletide. Undoubtedly, it is a busy time for the Federal Road Safety Corps. It's relentlessly working to ensure seamless movements. The Corps Marshal leading the Special Highway Patrol categorically entreated road users to be patient and cautioned drivers to avoid overloading, overspeeding and other unethical highway practices.
Directive to all sector commanders all over the Federation is to come out early, to be on those hot spots that we always have a traffic gridlock during this period. And from the report I'm getting for the past 3 days, all our marshals, our officers, our special marshals, the voluntary special marshals are all on the road, trying to calm the traffic, control the traffic, and support the passengers and all road users to be able to reach their destination.
More personnel have been deployed to the Abuja-Lokoja highway to ensure normalcy returns to the roads, as commanding officers have been ordered to move to the identified spots to ensure free movement across the country. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway has served as a major economic lifeline linking some of the southeast states have experienced years of neglect. There is, however, renewed relief as rehabilitation on the Anambra section intensifies. Joy Iliobu reports.
Amansi border to Okuzu, Onitsha bound, construction equipment and workers are pushing round the clock to ensure the expressway is motorable before the festive rush. The rehabilitation involves pavement straightening, asphalt overlay, drainage repairs and fixing of failed sections that have caused gridlock and accidents over the years. For road users, the impact is already being felt.
Before, we find it difficult to go to Onitsha, but now you can see the road is being constructed and it's making our movement very easy for us. So I am very happy.
They are doing a nice work. I wish they would complete before Christmas.
As Christmas approaches, relief is in sight for road users and the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway is steadily reclaiming its place.
Some sections have been completed from 43 to 46, Enugu bound, completed, and then from 38 to 30, Onitsha bound. The section completed will be open for Christmas.
Beyond the festive season, the rehabilitation of the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway is expected to boost regional trade and strengthen economic activities across the region. In Oka, Joy Iluebu, NTA News.
More road users are smiling all the way to their destinations thanks to one of Nigeria's leading network service providers, MTN Nigeria, through its program tagged Yellow Tide, which has put smiles on the faces of passengers traveling from Kuto Motor Park in Abeokuta to various destinations by paying their transport fares. The Chief Information Officer of MTN, Shoyinka Shodunke, sees the opportunity to appreciate MTN subscribers in Abeokuta as well.
Exciting moment for passengers at Kuto Motor Park in Abeokuta, Ogun State, as MTN Nigeria, under its program tagged Yellow Tide, paid up their transportation fares as a way of appreciating Nigerians for supporting the MTN brand. The passengers who received the surprise gesture from MTN expressed gratitude as they explained that the money will be used to sort out other necessities for the Yuletide.
We are heading to Akure from Abeokuta now, and MTN just came to reward us with 12,000 naira cash for transportation.
Yes, we thank MTN for paying our fare from Kuto to Ketu, from Abeokuta to Lagos. Thank you so much.
Although my children with my wife, I paid 24,000 naira, they return it back to me. So for what God has used them for me,
I will pay tithe for it.
They gave me money today, now my transport money back to where I'm going. That is Akure. 12,000 naira. No go there.
The Chief Information Officer of MTN, Soyinka Sodunke, says that the gesture is to appreciate their esteemed customers and give back to society in the spirit of Christmas.
Even when we provide the services for the payments that we get from our customers, we see it as a key thing to come back, to give back to every one of them. So the reason we're here today is actually a give back. To thank you, to thank every one of them for taking up our services.
Soyinka used the opportunity to encourage Nigerians to embrace MTN as a network of choice.
Still on free transportation, the Ohaneze APC support group, in collaboration with Umar Leguku Progressive Initiative and the Internal Diaspora Borno State Chapter, has flagged off the free annual transportation program. The initiative, now in its 6th consecutive year, is being implemented under the visionary and people-centered leadership of Professor Babagana Umar Zulum and continues to reflect compassion, unity and responsive governance across the state. Mohammed Goni reports.
God, you shall continue.
Since its launch in 2020, the program, which targeted over 900 beneficiaries this year, has enabled thousands of beneficiaries, especially non-indigenous persons, to travel home, reuniting families who had been separated for 3 to 5 years and allowing them to celebrate Christmas and the festive season with loved ones. The chairman and coordinator of the Ohaneze APC support group, Chief Ogochukwu, praised Governor Zulum for ensuring the program remains free from discrimination, nepotism or tribal bias.
It's not an easy task. We thank him very much because he have done the best for all the non-Indigenous living here in Borno State. He have touched a lot of life.
This initiative speak more about His Excellency Professor Babagana Umar Zulum towards his love to the Christian community within or residing within the state.
Beneficiaries have expressed deep joy and gratitude, commending Borno State government for easing their transportation challenges. The noble gesture not only eases movement, but also carries hope, dignity, and is true spirit of the season to thousands of families. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
You're watching the network news on NTA. Stay tuned for more news after some message. Thanks for staying tuned. The presidency has restated that the landmark new tax reform laws expected to begin operation in 2026 will usher in an era of fiscal growth and social contract between the government and the people. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said this at a press briefing to mark the end of the Gregorian calendar 2025, celebrating national development under the Renewed Hope agenda. Salihu Guanara reports.
It is 2.5 years now since Nigeria began her journey under Renewed Hope mantra. This briefing highlights the scorecard of the government within the outgoing year 2025, where the government spokesman acknowledged the successes of ongoing reforms that cut across security, economy, road infrastructure, agriculture, and youth empowerment.
Our gross domestic product, that's GDP, grew by 3.98% in the third quarter of 2025, demonstrating resilient and sustained expansion in the non-oil sector. Significantly, headline inflation has now declined for 8 consecutive months to stand at 14.45% in November 2025. Food inflation, as you also know, is also on a steady downward trend. Our external reserves have strengthened to approximately $44.56 billion, providing a robust buffer that stabilizes our currency and assures international investors of the seriousness of this administration to reposition its economy. Nigeria has recorded a trade surplus also in 2025 of 6.69 trillion in the third quarter of 2025. President Tinubu in 2025 has also approved the recapitalization of the Bank of Agriculture to the tune of 1.5 trillion naira. This is the biggest single boost to agricultural financing in our recent history.
Going into the new Gregorian calendar year 2026, he reaffirmed that the 58.18 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bill before the National Assembly is historic, ambitious, and focused for the good of the people.
It's the largest ever capital expenditure allocation of 26.08 trillion naira for tangible infrastructure, roads, rail, power, and ports. 26.08 trillion. It is the single biggest allocation of 5.41 trillion to defense and security, a direct investment in protecting lives through modern equipment for our armed forces, a new national intelligence architecture, and a secure digital border surveillance system.
He was emphatic that Nigeria is strengthening multilateral relationships with the international community.
Nigeria is no longer on the sidelines. We are a confident and strategic partner on the global stage, defending our national interest and attracting beneficial partnerships. President Tinubu's vision for Nigeria is big, his strategy is unambiguous, and his resolve is unshakable. We are consolidating stability. We are protecting our homeland. We are empowering our youth. We are building a nation where every citizen has the agency to thrive and to succeed in this country.
He assured that the administration will remain focused while pursuing its agenda to transform Nigeria for better. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Now to legal matters. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi SAN is urging adherence to international standards as Senate amends the Terrorism Act, Prevention and Prohibition to prescribe death sentence for kidnapping, terrorism and related crimes. At a public hearing on the bill, some lawmakers pointed that punitive measures must be in place to discourage would-be offenders, while the Justice Minister and some stakeholders said capital punishment may not serve the purpose.
I believe we must be cautious not to adopt a policy that, while emotionally satisfying, may prove counterproductive to our ultimate goal of a safer Nigeria. That the proposal to include the death penalty for convicted terrorists should be viewed because it inadvertently facilitates the martyrdom trap.
Terrorism addresses three critical elements. There is the ideological dimension, there is the political dimension, and the mass intimidation dimension. And any definition of terrorism that goes beyond this framework is not consistent with international global dimensions regarding this definition.
You are at liberty as lawyers to, in the open, defend a murderer, and you go home and sleep. And the court asks him to go and spend 5 years, 10 years in prison, meanwhile their loved ones have been killed. Our people do not understand that as justice.
We have listened to the positions for and against, and as the Senate, we would go back in our own committee and read all these memoranda, consider all the points, and make our recommendations to the Senate as a body.
Submissions were also made on the bill which seeks to reform legal practice in Nigeria. Meanwhile, 150 out-of-school girls are currently receiving civic education as part of federal government's plan to ensure that more than 1 million out-of-school children across the country return to mainstream education. Ayomiku Ajibola reports.
All walls of classroom where they were taught the rudiment of learning, which include how to read, write and speak good English. These 150 out-of-school girls, among whom her 14-years-old Feromi Idris from Kwara State, 19-years-old Katun Ilya from Kano State, and Elizabeth Emmanuel from Akwa Ibom were also equipped with employable skills through the Tinubu Legacy Skills Training Institute for Almajiri and out-of-school children.
If I can learn this in normal shop, it will cost a lot of money. But me being here, not even spending any money,
and I can do some other skill like fashion designer.
Message for the out-of-school children is for them to also come to this place to come and achieve what I've also achieved.
This initiative reaffirms the federal government dedication that promotes inclusive and equitable learning opportunities, ensuring no child is left behind.
I have never come across Nigerians that are as talented as those out-of-school children and as promising as those girls. So if this is replicated across all the 36 states of the Federation, that will give us the ability of producing Nigerians that will contribute to the growth of the GDP.
Upon completion of the 9-month program at the Tinubu Legacy Skills and Training Institute, the girls, according to him, will qualify to continue their formal education. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
Thank you, Ayomiku. Now let's talk mandatory pre-employment drug testing, which has been approved by the federal government as a requirement for prospective applicants into the public service to curb the rising menace of illicit drug use and its attendant consequences on national development. In a statement, permanent secretaries and heads of extra-ministerial departments and parastatals have been directed to include mandatory drug testing as a core requirement in the recruitment of new personnel, premised on the concern raised by the federal government about the alarming rate of drug and substance abuse, particularly among youths in the country. MDAs are to collaborate with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in conducting the tests in line with established standards and procedures. President Bola Tinubu congratulates retired Deputy Inspector General of Police Cecilia Adebisi Ugoe as she marks her 90th birthday. The President commends Madam Cecilia Ugoe's service as a pioneering figure in the Nigeria Police Force who helped broaden opportunities for women and strengthen professionalism at a time when policing was overwhelmingly male-dominated. She was the first female Commissioner of Police, the first female Assistant Inspector General of Police, and the first woman to hold the position of Force Secretary. And thanks to women like Madam Cecilia, the police also has just celebrated 70 years of women in policing. And now let's join Awal Yusuf Jibo in Lagos for more reports from that zone. Awal. Go ahead, Awal. It seems Awal can't hear me, so we'll just move on and
Lagos. For Nigeria to attain digital sovereignty and maximize its digital economy potential, tech experts have identified local content as germane to guaranteeing job creation and data security in the wake of the ongoing digital revolution. Joel Popola reports that industry players agreed that the use of Nigeria's domain name by the government and the private sector is a catalyst for digital economy growth.
With every country trying to take charge of the tech ecosystem, which is instrumental to having a fair share of the digital economy, various countries have flooded the cyberspace with all sorts of digital products. Tech experts believe reliance on digital products that are not homegrown leaves Nigeria at the mercy of the manufacturing countries, and data security cannot be guaranteed, hence the need to adopt local content.
The content creators
leverage on several other platforms. But there's no other platform that you can use something unique to yourself. For example, if all those platforms goes down today, every of your content is gone.
Like the country code that we have 234. So that's the country for fun. And then if you have .ng, that's your identity online.
Nigeria's domain name, according to experts, is one of the ways to guarantee data protection.
So it has a lot of value. A lot of people believe that, oh, if I own other GTLDs, I will be more visible online. I will be more visible globally. But with .ng, there are several advantages to businesses and institutions in terms of visibility, in terms of access to markets, as well as in terms of stability.
With massive investment in digital infrastructure in the telecom sector and availability of internet in remote areas, stakeholders believe the story of Nigeria is changing for good. In Lagos, Joel Ukbola, NTA News.
Protection of Nigeria's territorial waters depends largely on the strength of its naval assets and expertise of the naval dockyard, which is responsible for shipbuilding and maintenance of other naval assets. Consistent performance of these duties attracted accolades at the end of the year party and award night to reward achievements recorded in year 2025. Joel Popola reports that Zonal Director NTA Lagos Network Center, Evelyn Unwosu, was recognized for putting the Navy on the front burner in the outgoing year.
These are the unsung heroes who work round the clock to guarantee security of Nigeria's maritime domain. The Naval Dockyard Limited, largely responsible for shipbuilding and maintenance, has become synonymous with excellence, and their dedication to duty against all odds is worthy of celebration. Without further ado, it was time to showcase and reward excellence with distinguished officers and staff in various departments of Naval Dockyard Limited rewarded with gifts and recognition awards. The awards were in various categories, which are departmental awards, long service awards to reward perseverance and dedication to service, while the best civilian and ratings of the year were also celebrated. Zonal Director NCA Lagos Network Center Evelyn Unwosu was among dignitaries specially recognized. The reward for hard work is more hard work, and this is what the Commandant Armed Forces Resettlement Center Oshodi once replicated in year 2026.
If every Nigerian can focus on the positivity, like we witnessed today in this dockyard, how a group of Nigerians sat together and have built ships from scratch to finish, you will understand that there is need for everybody to join hands together to build a new Nigeria.
Our Chief of the Naval Staff already has very high expectations for us in the new year, particularly because the Nigerian Navy will be turning 70. We have certain targets regarding completion of some construction projects.
For the Nigerian Television Authority Lagos Network Center, the symbiotic relationship with the Naval Dockyard will be sustained.
When you realize that somebody appreciates the little you are doing, it gives you strength to do more. We definitely will do more because there's a whole lot of things to put together in the coming year.
The expectation is for all officers to double their efforts in year 2026. Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
And those are the reports making the rounds in Lagos. NTA Network News continues in Abuja after.
Thanks for staying tuned. Kano State government remains committed to initiating reforms in the revenue sector with the aim of achieving total financial independence. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf stated this during the induction ceremony of 120 newly recruited permanent and pensionable officers deployed across key revenue cadres in the state. Abdullahi Mustafa reports.
The outgoing year, Kano State government executed several infrastructural development projects across urban and rural areas. This is attributed to a significant increase in the state's revenue under Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf.
Today, Kano is the first northern state when it comes to ranking in revenue generation. It's the 9th state in the table of states across sub-national. We used to be 30-something.
Zaid Abubakar was making this revelation as his agency welcomed 120 newly recruited personnel who are expected to contribute to improved revenue generation in the coming years. Governor Abubakar Yusuf, who presented appointment letters to the newly employed officers, expressed optimism.
We are not merely filling vacancies. We are strengthening the very engine that drives growth and development in our state.
The governor reiterated his administration's zero-tolerance stance on corruption and abuse of office, urging the new revenue officers to uphold transparency and accountability in the discharge of their duties. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
And from Kano News from Imo State, where Governor Hope Uzodinma has presented a 1.4 trillion naira budget for the 2026 fiscal year to the State House of Assembly, Beatrice Anyam reports.
The Imo State 2026 appropriation bill of 1.4 trillion naira, christened Budget of Economic Breakthrough, represents 78% increase from the 2025 budget of 807 billion naira. Recurrent expenditure, which includes the personnel costs, overheads and subventions, has 16.6% of the total budget, while capital expenditure has 1.2 trillion naira, representing 83.4% of the total budget. Governor Hope Uzodinma, while giving a breakdown of the budget framework to the state legislators, pointed out that the 2025 budget of expanded economic opportunities actually provided the enabling environment for expanded economic opportunities, which is evident in huge investments in human capital development, increased investment arising from the recent Imo Economic Summit, and provision of good roads for easy movement of goods and services.
This is a clear statement of our direction and determination to provide needful infrastructures for economic development. Imo has risen.
The Speaker, Chike Olembo, and other members of the House, who eulogized the efforts of the governor in the development of the state, assured him of speedy passage of the appropriation bill.
The income and expenditure of the government are considered while giving a financial guide in the financial transaction of the year.
The budget presentation attracted prominent sons and daughters of the state. In Owerri, Beatrice Anyam, NTA News.
For more on the economy, let's join Musa Abubakar of our business desk for updates. Musa?
Thank you, Najat. Gold futures hit a record of $4,477.07 per ounce and was last traded at $4,466.90 an ounce. Spot gold was up 2.13% to $4,430.22 per ounce. Prices are up nearly 70% since the start of the year. Let's now take a trip to the commodities market. Currency market, where we now can see how much the naira is exchanging for other currencies at the official market. Now to the capital market. The Nigerian stock market closed trade in a positive territory as renewed buying interest lifted key stocks across major sectors. The all-share index rose to 152,459.07 points, signaling improved investor sentiment on the floor of the exchange. Market activities were equally active. A total of 33,327 deals were recorded during the trading session. Investors traded over 451 million shares with a combined value of 13.03 billion naira, reflecting sustained participation by market players. At the close of trading, the market's equity capitalization stood at 97.19 trillion naira, underscoring continued confidence in Nigeria's capital market. Analysts say the positive close was driven by bargain hunting and positioning ahead of earnings releases, advising investors to focus on fundamentally strong stocks. It's now time to pause for some messages. The news.
It's time for live sports action with Ayo Makinde, beginning with news of Nigeria's Super Eagles. Ayo.
Thanks so much, Naja. Well, let's begin with the Super Eagles. Of course, they start their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations with a Group C match against Tanzania's Taifa Stars at the Complex Sportif de Fes in Morocco on Tuesday. The three-time champions have only lost once in their last 14 group stage matches at the Africa Cup of Nations. Now, across 10 meetings, between the two countries, the Super Eagles have won 6 and drawn 4, while Tanzania is yet to register a victory.
This is a big game because this is the first game of the AFCON for us, and the first game is very important every time. So we are happy to play this game here in Fes, and for sure we want to win this game.
The spirit in the camp is very high, very energized. This game is very important for us. It's the game that sets the momentum. So the guys are really ready. Everyone is ready, from the players to the staff, and everyone is really focused on this game, which is very important. So it is a game that we are well prepared to win.
All right, in other Group A actions, Zambia Patson Dakar scored a stunning diving header in stoppage time to secure a 1-1 draw against Mali in their opening match at the AFCON finals on Monday. Now, the Eagles of Mali will next face host Morocco in Rabat on Friday, while Chipolo Polo of Zambia take on Comoros in Casablanca the same day. Meanwhile, South Africa secured 2-1 win over Angola in Marrakech before the last match of the day between the Pharaohs of Egypt and Warriors of Zimbabwe, which is currently ongoing. And of course, Zimbabwe currently lead by a 0-0, scored in the 20th minute by Prince Dube. Of course, the next 45 minutes has a lot to offer. Now, Nigeria ended the FIFA Men's World Rankings for 2025 in the 38th position, retaining 1,502 points from November to rank 5th behind Morocco, Senegal, Egypt and Algeria. Spain leads the world rankings after reclaiming the top spot from Argentina ahead of France. Let's move to handball. Nigeria retained its position as the Secretary General of Commonwealth Handball Association after Saidu Jibril Oji was re-elected as the Secretary General of the organization at the IHF and CAHB CAHAB Congress, which held in Cairo, Egypt. Jibril Oji was earlier elected as chairman of the CAHAB Electoral Committee, overseeing the election that ushered in Dr. Hassan Mustafa as the president of the International Handball Federation, IHF, and Dr. Mansuru Aremu as the African Continental Vice President of the IHF. Dr. Aremu will also continue in his role as president of the Confederation of African Handball, CAHAB. And that's your sports. It's back to Naja Atu.
Thank you very much, Ayo. Now let's see what the weather will be like on Tuesday around the world.
For joining us, let's look at what Tuesday has in store. We are starting the day with isolated thunderstorms across parts of Cross River and Akwa Ibom. And if you are in the inland cities of the south, expect a partly cloudy skies as you head out. Up north and across the north-central region, it's a bright and sunny morning, although the northern cities may notice a bit of haze. And as we move into the afternoon, keep an eye on the skies with increased moisture moving in. A good chance of scattered thunderstorms developing over parts of Lagos, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Ogun, Osun, Edo, and Delta State. And for the rest of the country, conditions should stay much the same with no major changes expected. And that's the forecast. I am Akemi Samarna.
That's actually the weather forecast for Nigeria. And on that note, we conclude the network.